Awesome, awesome. And we're live. What's up, everyone? BallietBran here. It's been a minute since I've done a live stream. I think it's actually my last stream was December 2nd, which was Hex's third birthday. So anyways, once again, if I didn't have anything to say, didn't want to be streaming, I feel like there is some things to say. It seems that Hex may or may not have bought the YouTube channel here. So anyways, part of the stream is going to be about the Hexican community, some of the really cool things that are going on within that. And then if you've never been to any Hex meetups or, met any other Hexicans in person, this is kind of like a call to action to, involve yourself somehow. I also want to be talking about PulseChain. Richard has mentioned some updates with like a private testnet v3 that they have going on. And, it seems that, this year we could see PulseChain be launching. So anyways, really excited about that. Also, what else do we got here? I will go through the tweet that I have where, I mentioned that I'd be streaming today. We do have RH Maximalist that had a question. He said, I want Brandhammer's opinion. He wanted the ultimatum of what I think, is better. Just my case for Hex versus Bitcoin, and why I think Hex is superior, and why I would be putting and why I have a huge majority of my wealth in Hex versus some of the other cryptocurrencies. And then also we're going to be talking about, like I said, PulseChain. What can PulseChain do? We've seen Hex do a 10,000x, and that's great. And I'm sure the people that just got in, might be tired of hearing of it because they haven't, seen such gains yet. So we're going to be talking about what PulseChain can do. I'll just give you the short answer real quick. It's could be doing a 14,000x. So that sounds pretty damn good to me. I don't know about you guys and gals, but anyways, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the intro, and then we're going to say what's up to the chat. And then I also do have, some shout outs and stuff like this, where actually I got on this side, where you could get one of these badass, let me move the mic, where you could get one of these badass, Hexican Letterman's jackets and things like this. And, just how cool this community is and how much it's changed my life in ways that I never thought, needed improvement. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the intro. The Nagabo intro. It's like 1 minute and 39 seconds. So, get your water, take a piss break, whatever you need to do. I'll be back in just a second. Don't go nowhere.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran. It's fabulous.
Cool. So yeah, once again, it's been a minute. Miss everyone. And everyone's coming out of the woodworks, myself included. Nagabo is in the intro, and we had seen him, I think, on the Dollar Cost Crypto and RG3 stream recently. So whole bunch of people are excited for what's going on. And I think Maddie Allen had mentioned this as well, that the participation in the actual community itself with what we're seeing live stream wise seems to be a lot higher on the numbers. And so we're going to go over, some of the price action that we've seen since my last stream. Once again, I'm not a trader, chart guy, any of this stuff, but just sentiment wise, if I could just say sentiment analysis wise, to me, it seems that we've bottomed. And we've seen some capitulation with some big freaking bags with Hex. I think one guy had like 150 million Hex that he had pulled liquidity from and then immediately dumped it. You can go to what is it, like Hex Whale Bot, or there's a bot itself that says, this person staked this much or this person sold this much. And it seems that the capitulation phase, in my opinion, seems to have been over. Let me just take a quick sip of water and get a little hydration before we get into it. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got Degen Dougie, we got Cape Feger. Let's go. He's actually the one that it's on this side again. He's actually the one that gave me and sent me this Hex Letterman's jacket. It's either Letterman's jacket or Leatherman's jacket. Should have done that research before the stream. But anyways, y'all, if y'all are interested in, getting one of these, I'll put the link in the chat. Let me actually do that right now since I'm bringing it up. That way we can just get that over with and put that to the side for a second. So 1 second here. Let me just paste the actual link. Thanks everyone for your patience. Thanks everyone for, tuning in today. I understand that it's kind of like an unorthodox time, right? Normally I stream Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was really excited a couple of days ago, just with, things that I've been seeing within the Hex community that, I didn't want to wait until Sunday. So let's just kind of go over once again the link where y'all can get this. Let me just share a screen. Once again, it's been like over 2 months, a little bit over 2 months. So let me just, 1 second. Let me just get the actual eBay link itself. So once again, this is where you can get one of these jackets. This is Cape Feger himself. And once again, thank you so much, man, for sending this to me. Man, this community is so generous, not only with their time, but with their education. In other communities, you have people that, as Richard says, they feed their followers into the meat grinder. And I know people close to me that signed up for BlockFi, who is now bankrupt. And, they get a piece of mail the other day saying, that they went bankrupt and that, that they might be able to, get their money back if they dox themselves and they submit all this personal information. But the point is, it's really cool how generous the community is. And, it's really doing something special, as I mentioned with my little Hex Awards ceremony last year. So let's just cover this real quick. We'll take the link down here. Once again, the link to get one of these jackets is in the description. And then I'd asked him, where do you specify the size, etc. And so what you would do if you wanted one of these jackets, as you can see, it's like $125. The eBay merchant ID is mine, all sell. But then, so you would purchase this and then you would just send him a message saying, hey, I'm size large, size XL, whatever size jacket that you'd wanted. And so thanks again, Cape, for sending this to me. You got one for myself and the girlfriend. And that was super generous of him. All right, let's, sorry about that. Let's get into some of the other meat and potatoes. So we got a Crypto Gains Club 369 says, got a little rocket emoji. That's what we seem to be doing with Hex. This is also hexjewels.com. I've got it in the description as well. But this is cool. I got this on the PulseChain side today. It's like an enamel. And then you've also got like the Hex logo there too. But anyway, so Vets in Crypto says, bang, bang. We got Black Hexican. She says, good to see you, Brad. Hey, good to see you too. And once again, I know it's kind of like a peculiar time for me streaming today. And I know it's kind of random. normally stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. So I said that to say that I tried not stepping over other people's, toes when it comes to streams, but it just shows you how big this community is, because we had, so I scheduled the stream, and then we have a Hex token that's streaming right now, at least according to PulseTube. And then, Black Hexican and KSB.TV, I believe they're streaming in about 20 minutes. And, part of the reason I mentioned that as well is because they have like a Hex cruise that's going to the Bahamas, I believe. So, you guys can check that out as well, and message her for some more information on that. So let's say what's up to the rest of the chat. Once again, it's been such a long time, I'll stream when I feel that there's things to be, talked about and said. Bit Finesse, how's it going, bro? Says, for all who have long stakes, we salute you. Salute to you as well, Bit Finesse. Once again, bang, bang. We got Gold Key, says, what's up, dude? We got Big Boy, says, hey, Bran. We got Maria Cara, hey, Bran. We got Ank, Superman, hey, Bran, 5555. Got Davis. We got, oh my God. We got some feedback, some constructive criticism. Daniel 87 Linseed says, dude, lose the rings. 1 is nice, 2 maybe. More than 3 is a no-no. Well, I mean, that's your opinion. Cool. But I'm going to keep wearing these rings anyways. Besides, I don't usually wear these in public. I usually wear this one and then this one. So anyways, that's good for you that you're triggered on my rings. Jerry Oaksmith says, good afternoon, Bran. Smash the like, share the link. Hexpala says, let's go, Bran. We got Vintage Staker Class. 14,000X sounds good to me. Yeah, it's true. And, in regards to PulseChain, heck, man, I thought it was going to be launched a long time ago. I'm sure everyone else did in the community as well. When we had seen the change of the Binance Smart Chain Parelia network versus what now PulseChain is going to be, the fork of Ethereum 2.0, Richard was saying on a live stream with Ivan on Tech, Ivan's like, hey, he had mentioned like, can you give a prediction, like a scope, and Richard was saying like, well, we just forked a different network. It's going to, be taking a lot longer than we had anticipated with the previous network that they have. But the point that I'm trying to mention is, we've already waited this long. At the end of the day, none of us have control not whether, but when PulseChain launches, right? It's not like we can pressure Richard or anything like that. So the patience is going to pay off. And just as it did for those that were in Hex early on, so Hex launched December 2nd, 2019, but I'm pretty sure it was at like the beginning of the year, which is when we started getting those updates from Richard, which is, Hex is four more weeks until Hex launches. And then, that was from like February to, actual launch, which was, once again, December 2nd. So I'm really excited for when PulseChain does launch. There's a whole bunch to talk about. And, once again, part of this stream is about the community. I appreciate, so we had KSB TV in here, Black Hexican. So we had who was it? Alan, so 8-Bit Hex, and then Patrick, Hex Lion. So German and an Austrian come to the US and do 42 cities, like the Hex Road Tour that they had done. That was really cool. And that was kind of my first experience, aside from meeting RG3. He was the first person I had met the first time, but their tour, and we shot like a music video in Seattle. That was really, really cool. First music video that I've ever been a part of. But that really solidified, kind of the power of the community. I didn't realize how many people that were in my area that, also shared the same interests in Hex and in crypto and financial sovereignty and, holding your own keys and, being your own bank and et cetera. All right, let's go through the rest of the chat here. Davis says fond memories. DJ Pollywood, what's up, bro? Once again, hit those thumbs. And once again, for those that don't kind of know the style of this, I do have like a decent list of things on like a Google document that I want to cover, but I also try and cover the chat as much as possible and any questions that the chat has. Once again, if it becomes too much, like, too much participation in chat, which is a good thing, then I might not get to every question or comment or things like that. But once again, we're going to try our best. So Bitfinesse. And I also do want to, I doubt that I'm going to be streaming for, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but I specifically gave myself 2 hours because at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, Matty Allen has a stream that he's got going on too. So I want to end this stream before he streams. Bitfinesse says, let me get some water real quick here. He says, the cycle has begun. People missing the bottom, feeling safe eventually. They miss the top, maybe sell the bottom, hop on because they missed the last one. Those waves are real. It's already begun. Yeah. It's so true. And I actually have like a anecdotal experience, or as Andrew Huberman would say, like anecdata, right? Is that, one of my buddies asked me, it said, hey, Bran, is Hex a, good crypto to get into right now? And this was when the price was at 4.5 cents before we bottomed, in my opinion, that we bottomed, right? And I said, yeah. I said, he's been in crypto for a little while. And I said, hey, as you know, I'm no freaking guru, right? The price could go down, it could go up, could go sideways. And so the price proceeded to go from where he had bought at. So, he had 5K USDC and then bought Hex at 4.5 cents. And then we proceeded to, make the bottom, which was around like 1.6 cents, something like that. And then I'd message him maybe like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, hey, so-and-so, did you keep your Hex? Did you stake it? Anything like this? Because now we're, past where he had purchased. So, seeing a little bit of paper gains and stuff. And he had said, he's like, no, he says, no, I already sold it for Bitcoin. And I'm thinking, man, so some people, they really trade in and out. And I'm so glad that, Hex has the staking feature. And, it's kind of like being a Bitcoin miner, which once again, we'll get into in a little bit, the case for Hex versus Bitcoin. Once again, we got Bitfinesse says it's mechanical now. We got Luna C Point. Woohoo. Missed you. Hey, missed all you guys too. All you guys and gals. Zenology says, wow, this feels like 2019. Davis says, I bought some of his cheap Hex. Hell yeah, there you go. Mr. PulseChain. PulseChain. Yo. Okay, once again, we got Eshjatar. Hey, Bran, good to see you. Hello, all. Zenology says, buying Hex at 6 cents or $1. No financial advice. Yeah, and hey, Serena, good to see you as well. She's been doing a lot of streams lately with, I don't know her name, but it's with Vibra Finance's, his wife. So, good for her. Once again, she was one of the first people that made Hex content. And so that was really cool. I'd forgot the previous point that I was going to mention. So we're just going to go straight to, so the previous point that I was going to say is, when this person mentions, 6 cents or $1, I've been watching a lot of like Randy Hilarski's streams, and I think he's a great person to listen to. I mean, shit, I've been in crypto for 6 years. He's been in crypto for like 10 years, and obviously Richard's been in crypto for longer. But the point is if you can listen to people that are experienced, that have made a lot of mistakes, but have also had a lot of success, then, if you're going to be doing your own research, maybe you listen to those people and then base your own opinion off of it. But someone was saying in Randy's stream that Hex can never go to, 56 cents again, which for those that don't know was the previous all-time high. Because they were, their argument was, market manipulation from, what was it, like the PulseChain sacrifice. And of course you're going to have, price pumpage and, things like that for the PulseChain sacrifice, for people to get more sacrifice points. But it doesn't mean that the price is never going to go there again. I mean, if you just look at, even from the 1.6 cent bottom to where we're at now, you can see when Hex decides to change its trend from, sideways or, down and sideways, it can pump pretty damn quick. And, RG3's talked about it a lot, where it's like when the tide goes out or something like that, you can see who has no clothes on or not type of deal. And so, yeah, for some of the people trading back and forth, Hex can do a quick 4x or 5x, whatever. And, people can get caught not having their position. So anyways, take that what you will. So once again, Serena, we got Northernmost Hexer says, good to see you back. Yeah, once again, there were some PulseChain updates. I had also hosted a Hexican meetup in the Washington State area that I'm going to be showing some footage from. And, once again, this stream's kind of like a call to action for those that, haven't met any Hexicans in real life and stuff to, meet up with some Hexicans in your area. And it's not like it always has to be this big extravagant event like a cruise or, like going to Vegas and things like that. It doesn't always have to be that way. And I would actually encourage the opposite, where it's like, man, don't use that as your excuse to be the first meetup. Like, start something now and ask on Twitter, hey, are there any Hexicans in, the DC area or, whatever state or country, I guess, for that matter, that you're, around, because we got Hexicans worldwide. And also as far as like adoption goes and stuff, man, my brother was at the gym the other day and he had a Hex hat that I had given him, and someone says like, oh, go Hex, so like, just random recognition. And it's not like they knew that he was my brother. And then I had it the other day, yesterday, actually, where I was at my mailbox and saw one of the neighbors that I don't, we've never really chatted a whole bunch, but he's younger, maybe 35, 40, something like that, him and his wife. And I don't have it, I got it in the closet, but he's like, oh, Hex. And because the jacket that I had like Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX. And so it's awesome to see it getting recognition. And, the logo itself is beautiful, right? And it's kind of hard not to, people have heard of Bitcoin, et cetera. But with something like Hex, it's got so many unique aspects about it that, once they've heard about it a time or two, and then they see it in person, like in public, I just thought it was really cool that it had that recognition, because that was like 2 times in one day that people had recognized it. Cape Feger says, thank you, Brandon. Also generous of you to do a promote for me. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's not, I guess it's kind of like a promotion, but it's Cape had given this to me and my girlfriend for free, and actually a couple of other jackets, which was just super generous. I might do a giveaway for those because, they're just different sizes that don't fit me or her. But the point is yeah, for $125, the quality, I like the back, how it's got the yellow and red color scheme. And then he's got a whole bunch of other stuff too. So I'm wearing this little pin that it's got like the, Hex, PulseX, and PulseChain logo. Once again, we got Hex Kai says, hi, Brandon. Let me get some more water here. 1 second here. And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes once we finish some of these comments. Hex Kai says, hi, BallietBran. Nice to see you random. Northernmost Hexer, do you ship the jacket to Norway? Hopefully Cape's answered that question already. ABIT streams at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. Once again, we got Larry O. We got Orion. Didn't mean to be rude, man. Hey, not rude at all. Everyone's got opinions, right? And I respect your opinion, and I respect, you saying something. Most people, don't have the balls to say what they actually think, so good on you for that. And yeah, I agree. This is definitely overkill and excess. And so, it's just kind of fun. Put 2 more rings on. They look great. Yeah, I actually got 2 other missing ones, because then it would be 3 and 3 that are missing. So I need to find it in my bag somewhere. But Remorseless says, stake it till you make it. 10 fingers, 10 rings. Axis Alive. What's up, brother man? Says, what's up, BallietBran? When 12-cent Hex? Well, I think I might reciprocate that question to you, right? Axis Alive, for those that don't know, he's been kicking ass lately. That's all I can say. Is it's beautiful that, we've got people in this community that specialize in their own regard. You got the silver, the antidotes. You've got, Sloth, Crypto Sloth. You've got Axis Alive, Whales Only. All of these different people. Jenkins is, shit, dude. He called the bottom, I think last year in July, something like that. But the point is yeah, we got a really cool community. Axis Alive. He's got a website. Axisalive.com. And man, he's got like a paid section, but he's also got like a freemium section. And I tell you what, the freemium section, I've just read like a couple of his newsletters that he's put out, and he's putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's all backed up. He might have like an opinion here or there, but it's all covered by the analysis and the data that he's showing you. And so once again, people can make their own decision with that information. It's called freedom. Who cares about superficial fashion? I agree. It is superficial, isn't it? When Axis brand stream? That's a damn good question. There's a couple people that, not on purpose, that I've kind of ghosted, like Furu Finance. Been meaning to do a stream with him, but then once again, kind of just took like a couple months off to just focus on self, and and also just let other people do their things, man. Like after a while, sometimes it kind of gets mentally draining, or the time that it takes to set up the the Roadcaster and all this other stuff, 20-minute setup, 5-minute teardown. Sometimes it's nice to just let other people do their thing. But anyways, as far as that goes, yeah, I would love to do a stream with Axis. I'm thinking of who he just did a stream with. I know he did one with Randy Hilarski. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. But once again, he's just been killing it lately. And he's also actually got a stream in like 3 days as well that I saw as a premiere. Yeah, we'll make it happen. I'll message him, and we'll get it on the schedule one of these days. That works for both of us. Lazy Hexican. Axis says, I'm down to do one. Hell yeah, I'm down to have you on. And hear the alpha, man. When I love when you understand the concept of how high hex can go, and then you've got the analysts and the experts such as Whales Only and not Fashion Coder. She's good too, but I said that because I had the name highlighted. But Axis Alive, that he says like when $12 hex and things like this, and you think about these numbers in your head with the amount that you're earning per day based on T-shares. And it's like, wow, these numbers really are possible. And part of my case for the Hex versus Bitcoin that I'll get into later, and it's already 27 minutes in, but, is that, you have Bitcoin that's already 14 years old. You've got Hex that crossed the 3-year-old, threshold. Bitcoin did its 6.9 million X from sub penny. It's actually done way more than that because it used to be below a penny. But even from 1 penny to $69,000, you have it having done huge amounts of gains. And so when Richard had said that Hex was designed to do a 10,000x in 2.5 years, people didn't believe him. And guess what? It happened. But Richard has also said that Hex is designed to, do what Bitcoin did and then some, right? As far as the game theory, the staking, the T-share rate itself, or I should just say the share rate. You have so many of these aspects and factors that could really push Hex up to just ridiculous numbers that as Randy Hilarski had said are mind melting, and it's kind of hard to fathom. But once again, you have cryptocurrency, which is the highest appreciating asset class that anyone has ever seen, that the world has ever seen, so it can do some ridiculous things. So yeah, Fashion Coder says, Bran, haven't seen you in forever. I know it's been a minute. It's been like over a couple months. You need at least 3 rings to crush a Bitcoin maxi skull. That's hilarious. Once again, RH Max, Bran, we got, anyways, let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's keep scrolling down. We got Don't Panic. It says, hey, Bran, hope you're doing well. Yeah, doing great, actually. And yeah, doing really good. Just doing really good. Finn Bear says, Bran got 3, he's got like 8 biceps there, so that's awesome. We got Hexbullah says PulseChain 14,000x and PulseX 13,976x. I tell you what, with PulseX, I know Wendy's for Attendees has talked about this in the past, and others have talked about this in the past too. But with it being deflationary and it having the buy and burn that it's going to be doing, I am super, super bullish on PulseX. And when so many people think linearly, where it's like, oh, if you had money, would you put it in Hex, PulseChain, or PulseX? Obviously, when the other two come out, PulseChain and PulseX. And I'm thinking like, man, it's the whole network itself that's complementary to itself. I personally wouldn't be putting money in one or the other. I mean, I'd kind of, diverge it between, PulseChain and PulseX, because, if you're speculating which one's going to do more price gains versus the other, that's a pretty hard call to make. But when you look at the mechanics of both of them, I mean, they both have fundamentals that are just going to really make this bull run pop. And, this bull run is going to be, the PulseChain bull run. And, it's just so exciting. I'm so happy with, what Hex has done from, a price performance standpoint. And that's with all of the gatekeeping, right? The 10,000x with all the gatekeeping, with the Bitcoiners, slanderous claims. When Hex first came out, so you could free claim with your Bitcoin until the 351, launch phase had ended. And you had, pipsqueaks like Tone Vays saying, don't free claim your Hex because, Richard Hart is going to, take your private keys. And if you free claim, it's going to take your private keys. In reality, not knowing that you were just signing a transaction and that it had nothing to do with the private keys, and it had nothing to do with exposing any of your, security crypto wise. So you have a lot of people, unfortunately, that have listened to those influencers, and they're in Wreckville. And it's awesome to see that with Hex and PulseChain and some of these other things, people that have listened to a lot of Richard Hart's information. It's awesome to see, look at Crypto Coffee's channel. I mean, he's got over 17,000 subscribers, so we're starting to climb as a community. And, we've been leaders in this space for a while, but now we're starting to see some of that traction. And it's awesome to see because, we don't want people getting wrecked. And we want to take some of those users from the other influencers that are feeding people into, the meat grinder, and we want to help them. Wear as many as you like. Okay, sounds good. Let's see what else we got in the chat, and then we'll get into it. Donnell Victor, they just don't get it. Sweaty, hey, Bran, good to see you. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do. Clipping vintage Richard Hart streams on Roger Ver, number 2. For the Throwback Thursdays, I bet Bran remembers. Oh, I do remember. Yeah. And in Richard Hart, speaking of, people that have gotten it right. So if you had Bitcoin, I don't even remember when the Bitcoin Cash fork was, but, you'd get a 1-for-1 as long as you had your coins, right? Not on Coinbase or anything like that. But if you had possession of your coins like you should in crypto, Richard Hart had done a tutorial of how to sell it or something like that, how to claim it and then sell it through a virtual machine. And I think it was damn near at parity. It was $3,000 something or something. And now if you look at the price at Bcash, it's, you should have sold when Richard had said to back in the day. And, that's another part of, I know the stream's kind of going everywhere, but there's just so much to talk about with how long I've been gone. But man, if you look at, the success of what Hexicans and, people that have been following Richard have seen, there's just been airdrops galore. There's been the Uniswap airdrop, which we and Richard Hart made Uniswap popular. So that was pretty cool. I think it was 500 Uni tokens, and they were worth $3 a pop at the time. And I think it was actually Randy Hilarski. Speaking of Hilarski, I think it was him on Discourse Syndicate that had initially mentioned it. And so for those of us that had multiple wallets, that was pretty cool. Same thing with Tornado Cash. You'd had people get the Torn airdrop, and from what I've heard from others that have received it, I heard that was pretty lucrative. Richard has also mentioned, so he's not necessarily recommending Tornado Cash anymore. The last time I heard him talk about it, he was saying that, because there's obviously, the US kind of doing some things against Tornado Cash. He had mentioned Tornado Cash on IPFS, Interplanetary File System, but then he had also mentioned a different product, which is called zk.money. And I've heard from others that works pretty well too. So that seems pretty cool technology for privacy. This would never be me. But Hex Hoddle says, and good to see you, and good to see everyone in chat. I know it's been such a minute. So it just feels like a good reunion. But they say if someone wants a hex tattoo on their forehead, I'd pitch in to get it. Yeah, maybe right in the third eye spot would be good for someone to do that, right? Hex under, let's see, 51 cents is a gift. We got Finbear in the chat. What's up, man? Mr. Pulsican says any Hexican in the 954. Let's see what area code that is. 954 area code. Just because I might know. Fort Lauderdale. Dude, there's a lot of Hexicans in the Fort Lauderdale area. So yeah, hopefully some of them reach out to you. Once again, I mean, people should be starting their own Telegram groups if they don't have one. Like that's what I did for Washington State. After Patrick and Abit, Allen had, come to Seattle, I was like, damn, like that's where I met Jerry Oaksmith. That's where I met a handful of people, Hex on the Beach and things. And I was like, man, these guys seem really cool. Like I want to get to know them more. And so that's when I created the Washington State Telegram group. But, if you ask that question on Twitter or on social media, maybe some of the Telegrams, and if there's not a Florida State Hexican group or Fort Lauderdale or, whatever county or city that you're in, maybe create one and then, put it on Twitter and just say, hey, for those in the Fort Lauderdale area or Florida area, here's a Telegram you can join. We want to do meetups. It's all kind of grassroots, just as Hex has been since the get-go. So it's kind of up to you to reach out and, to hang out with some of these people if you choose to. Yes, worldwide Hexicans, even in Asia, Hex has the most awesome community. Yeah, and that's also one of my arguments for, Hex versus Bitcoin is, and not saying that there aren't exceptions in Hex, because there definitely are. But if you look at like a toxicity standpoint, the Bitcoin maxis, I mean, goddamn, if you look at what they've been trying to do, I mean, they've been trying to legislate against other cryptos and, gatekeep other cryptos. And it's like, doesn't that seem quite ironic and quite hypocritical from, cypherpunk movement and cypherpunk standpoint to try and gatekeep and to try and, push down these other cryptocurrencies that are doing well? It just seems super hypocritical. So I love with what the Hexicans are doing. It's a true free market. I don't know about letting randos know I hold Pulse/Hex. At the end of the day, if someone held a gun to your head, right, in theory, you would need to hold your crypto. You would need to have your crypto on you for them to be able to get it, or they would need to hold you ransom, or, if you're foolish enough to have memorized, your seed phrase, then obviously, yeah, they could do the $5 wrench attack, to coerce you and to force you into giving that up. But, the thing that I want to say is, believe me, operational security is something that I always think about, is something that with each individual meetup that I take very seriously. But none of those fears have come to light. But it doesn't mean to be precautious, I think it's always important to be precautious. But at the end of the day, is some rando that knows that you hold Hex, PulseChain, or PulseX going to hold you ransom? Most likely not, unless they know that you have, unless you were like a whale or something. So I don't think that's necessarily a worry right this second. I do think that is a worry in the future, for sure. For sure I do. But right now, that just doesn't seem to be something that, that I've experienced, or, something. I wouldn't let that hinder you from, meeting up with people with like minds. I mean, if you have the, the MetaMask or your stakes and stuff like that on your phone, that's a big no-no. You should never be traveling with your crypto. So there's some things like that you can do to prevent such said things from happening. What else we got? Arte Suaviangelo, my man Bran, good to see you live. Hexicans will all be rewarded for their conviction and belief in the movement. Totally. Yeah, and this is before PulseChain, right? We're gonna get a duplicate. We're gonna get a copy. These are some of the questions that I don't have answers to. I've heard Motley talk about, and I've heard Motley and Randy talk about, like, what you had with the PulseChain sacrifice as far as like manipulation and traders coming in. You're also going to have when V3 comes out before the actual PulseChain launch, you're going to have the traders coming in to pump up the price of eHex, and then just Hex, and then you're going to have them dump it once they got their free copy. And so the question that I have is, okay, I mean, I don't even know what Hex is dipped from. I think it's like maybe 98%, something like that. The all-time high to the all-time low was like 98% roughly. So when PulseChain does launch, are we going to see, because I do agree with Motley and with Randy, that, yeah, the traders are going to come in, they're, going to get their coins, and then, they very well could dump it. But are we going to see prices lower than the most recent all-time low that we saw, which was around 1.6 cents? That's the question to be asked that I'm not too sure of, anyways. Davis says, I'm over in the north, 208. Yeah. Kingdom Servants Rising. Let me put in the link for the jackets once again. 1 second here. Let's just do 1 second here. It's in this tab. Let me just put that in right quick for Kingdom. So that's where you can get the jackets. And then once again, we'll get into it. We'll get into the meat and potatoes once, I say what's up to the chat again, because this is always my favorite part, even when there's been times where there's not a whole bunch to talk about. I love interacting with the chat, and a lot of these people I've met in person and have even streamed with as well. So we got Crypto Compassion, Yo brother. We got Frenchy Mode Bullies. Hey, I know who it is. Says, yo, what's up, BallietBran? We got Larry O. What up, B? Vets, bang bang. I agree. Many people lurking with little berries, scared to speak what on the mind. Yeah, I mean, I've never really shied away from that. And, that's part of the conviction that I always had with Richard is like, Richard, for those that don't know, he was just one of the people that I had followed. I mean, heck, there was Jay Snip, there was, Tone and some of these other people as well that I'd been following as well. But the thing that I always loved about Richard, and, first off, he had called the top in 2017. And so I was like, okay, this guy, he's making a bold prediction. And then before that, like his earliest videos, were self-help. Like, in America, we talk about like, politics, like left and right, and it's like, wait, why does it have to be one side or the other? So he talks about, when you're talking about nuance with politics, treat it like your sandwich, like different toppings. It doesn't have to be, black and white. So I always like that about Richard. And anyways, I like the people in this community that do speak their mind. The person in the chat earlier that said, 3 rings is too much. I appreciate that. I might not agree with it, at least not for the live stream per se, because I just thought these rings were cool. They're the same ones that Richard has. At least these two are. But hey, I appreciate the feedback. So let's see. Careful, some in the community call speaking the truth trolling. I mean, at the end of the day, like, screw those people. You're not going to be able to get along with everyone. And, in any community or any, sector and things like that, you just have to understand that, yeah, not everyone's going to get along. People are going to have different ideals, different beliefs, etc. There's going to be people that try and slander or start drama or, always seem to be getting in, battles and stuff with others. And, it's up to each own's discernment with who they spend their time with or who they engage with. Because, there's definitely people in this community that I would consider highly toxic and that I don't spend time with and that I have muted. But, you're going to get that in any community. Noel Sphinx says, aloha. Aloha back to you. AK says, brand back equals bear over. I like that. Brand back equals 10 cents soon. Finbear, hopefully I fall asleep soon, unless you got no, there's no big news, man. Go back to sleep. Let's see. All right, what else we got? We got Rick Schmitz. How's it going, bro? We got That Pulse Playa. I love that name. Great to see you. Great to see you, buds. We got Scotty Does Know. I feel so bad, man, because one time when I was drinking, which I've stopped, but before May 1st of 2022, I'm a moderator in PulseChain chat, and in Discourse Syndicate Cutthroats, you do, you do negative points, like with the bot, who can get the most negative points. And one time, kind of being inebriated, I had accidentally gave him multiple, negative points. And I felt really bad about that. So went back and made them positives because that's what I had meant to do, but just got distracted. So I will survive a 14,000x on Pulse. Yeah, and that's also part of the thing too, is, with the Hexicans that have seen a 10,000x, mind you, that doesn't even include staking. But with that 10,000x, I mean, it's highly volatile. I mean, heck, look at what happened with Big Payday. Look at what happened with these other things. Volatility is the feature. It's not the bug, So yeah, it's kind of like how long it's kind of like a game of chicken of like, how long can you hold it over time? And anyways, yeah, I'm really looking forward to, just more price gains, man. It's been awesome to, and people like Miguel with Dollar Cost Crypto have talked about this, but, we used to live in like a Hexican only paradigm where it's just Hex and everything else is a shitcoin. But now we've got, forking a system state of Ethereum. And, it's not just going to be Hex that gets copied over. It's going to be everything else that people may or may not agree with. But that's fine. That's a bigger ecosystem. That's what you want. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works, because now not only is there going to be, the Hex chart, which is, what we see on uniswap.hex.vision, which is Hex on Ethereum. But then you're going to have the chart, which is what people call p-Hex, which is actually just going to be called Hex. And then the Hex that we have now is going to be called e-Hex once PulseChain comes out. So you're going to have like 4 different charts, because you're going to have e-Hex, you're going to have Hex on PulseChain, you're going to have PulseChain, PLS, and then you're going to have PLSX. And then you're going to have, I guess, incentive token, So anyways, that's going to be really, really cool. Hector the Protector, 22. Bran, good to see you, homie. Good to see you too, my homie. Tyrannosaurus Hex says, BallietBran. Let's get into this, because this is one of the things that I had wanted to do. So I got a little file that I'll present here, but let me just say what's up to Tyrannosaurus Hex. So once again, I've got and for those that are in the Washington State for those that are in the Washington State area, or you plan on coming to some of these meetups, I purposely kept the group private because I don't want it getting too big. And, people mention like nefarious activities. I wouldn't want Bitcoiners or people that had, bad intentions to, know some of the details of the meetups and then try and sabotage it in some way. Said all that to say that if you are in the Washington State area, message me on Twitter or Telegram. I'm going to start checking those DMs. I got a lot to catch up on. But if you're in the area, we can add you to the group and you can come join us, because we're building something special. And this really is the ground floor. So anyways, Tyrannosaurus Hex, so this is like a quartz crystal, and he mines this himself in the Washington State mountains and stuff. And so that was one that he had had like a huge bag, and he's like, hey guys, everyone can pick a couple crystals out. And then also what I'm going to show in a second is I had hosted a meetup that RH Max had initially hosted, and I just felt like returning the favor because I thought it was so cool that we went to a bowling alley that also had like arcade games and stuff like that after the bowling. But and I didn't realize this until I'd gotten there, because I don't get every message on Telegram. But Ty was saying, he said, hey, for those that get the highest score in the bowling, I'm going to give them the option to choose these crystals. And so he had 5 different crystals, and I ended up getting one of them by, merit, right? Through wearing these like crazy kaleidoscope rave goggles, and you had to bowl a strike. And there were so many times where, and you'll see it in this little snippet that I have in just a second, but there were so many times where, there was twice where I'd gotten 9 pins, and, a spare doesn't count. You have to get the strike. So me and my brother kept just trying with the kaleidoscope rave goggles to get the strike, and we ended up getting them. So anyways, he had brought these crystals that he cleaned, that he mined, that he dug out from the dirt, or from rocks, and I thought that was really cool, because once again, I'd always mentioned that the Hexican community kind of reminded me of some of the relationship that I have with my brothers, or some of the common interests that we share. And I always had the thought, like, man, because my brothers were in crypto and I'd gotten them into Hex, but I was like, man, I really wish that they could meet the Hexicans. Like, we're not just like crazy cult followers of Richard. Like, people have different opinions of Richard. Some agree, some don't. You don't have to agree with everything, but it was really cool to see, them joining some of the meetups that we've done as well. And so without further ado, let me share just like a little, let's see, I think it's video file. Let me share like a little file that I took, or like a file, like a video that I made. It's got Freddie Quote's Hexican anthem in the back. I'm hoping it's not too loud. I can change the audio manually on this. And then once again, we'll get into the rest of the stream. So let me see if this plays.
That's fucked up, right? Like, I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scams. And everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard. Yeah, he's a scammer.
Hopefully the audio is not too loud. Let me scroll down.
We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh,
these were the goggles that I'm talking about. Rave kaleidoscope goggles. That was one of the times I got 9 pins. And this is just like a couple minute video. We'll get back into it once we're done with this.
Some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model, wife, cash and chains. Look no further at your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest. Stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is Hex. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win.
And this was like a punch machine. People have like broken their arms doing this.
Just call us Hexicans.
The Hexicans are stronger than that. We got strong bones.
A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody is hating. Hex is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research. Don't listen to me though. It's complete. It can't be changed. Hex is finito. Call it a scam. Nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh.
Thank God I saw that I was muted. So yeah, that was the video. Once again, the meetups have been as cool as, like doing a little bowling thing, from there, as well as just going up to like a local restaurant / bar. And, those guys get the drinks and stuff. I'm just sticking to water, but, and then just hanging out and, shooting the shit with Hexicans at a restaurant or at a local bar, and having conversations as well. So let me get back up to the rest of the chat here, because I did have to drop down. And 1 second. We got some comments that I had missed. 1 second. Let me just scroll up here. I think it was Ewok that I had finished off with. So, and once again, also with like bullish sentiment goes, we'll see what the price was when I had streamed last, which it seems that we're up like 100% from that day, which was December 2nd. 2022. But if you look at the all-time low that we had made, in my opinion, what seems to be the all-time low, at least for this market cycle, we're up significantly since then, like 300+%. So we'll kind of take a look at that too, which once again, people like Axis and Whales Only and these, Gerardo and stuff like this are really good with that kind of details. But even just from like a trend standpoint, it's been like 80+ days of us kind of, what seems to be forming a bottom, kind of doing one of these things. And then you get like a big candle up, and then it kind of starts, making its trend, diagonally up and to the right again. So Crypto Ewok, what's up, Bran? Okay, AK says, when V3, sir? At the end of the day, no one has any idea, right? I would hope soon, man. I mean, I know that is the $1 million question, right? I would love to see something before March 15th, 3/15. I'd like to see, testnet V3, and V3 is actually going to kind of be like V1, right? Because so what you're going to have is you're going to have V3, and then, if there's any bugs or anything like that, you're going to, have more development time, or, them fixing the bugs. But V3 is going to be what PulseChain is going to be. And I heard Dollar Cost Crypto say this, and it's like a test net. It's like, test net. But I heard him say something that, maybe other people could relate to, is it's kind of like a sandbox, for people that have played like video games and stuff. It's kind of like the sandbox before the actual mainnet launch. So, I mean, I would love to see something, next month or things like that, but it really just depends on, what Richard has up his sleeves and, where their competence lies with, feeling comfortable for launching V3. And then subsequently, who knows, who knows how long the V3 testnet is going to be, available until the mainnet launch. So we can talk a little bit about that too, because what's going to happen is Richard mentioned for taxation standpoint and just some of these other things that when mainnet does come out, he needs 25 hours of like ratio trading, the bridge not being opened yet. So they're all just going to be ratios of each other before the bridge is open, and then before prices are actually realized. And so you're going to have a lot of people that do some of these ratio trades, and everyone's got a different strategy, and that's also part of this stream too. Is what is your strategy? Because I had talked about this on that actual bowling night that I had just shared the video with. Myself and Vets in Crypto were talking about when mainnet comes out. Well, first off, when V3 comes out, you should start playing with it, seeing how the user interface works, how just playing with your coins and stuff, and then develop a plan for what you're going to do when mainnet comes out, because doing nothing is even also part of a strategy. But the last thing you want to do is get caught with mainnet coming out and then being really, really excited, and then as price starts to kind of pump too and stuff, making irrational decisions or making decisions that you could have thought out a little bit more, that you might regret in hindsight if you just do something on emotion or feeling, right? People can really get screwed doing that kind of stuff. Zenology says 2 more months. Totally. I remember when Bcash almost flipped Bitcoin. It was 400 uni. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, yeah, so it was around 1,200. Okay, $1,200. I'm in Boca. Awesome possum. We got Astro369. ZK money just needs a good amount of people using it, to my understanding. Bigger crowd equals much anon. Good point. Black Hexican says, meetup in Fort Lauderdale on April 23rd, the night before the Hex Cruise. Awesome. So yeah, that kind of answers the previous person's question in the 954, I believe it was, that they had said. Yeah, it was 954 area code. So it looks like you got some people that you can meet if you choose to. Mine says 2 more weeks. Red Squirrel, hey, what's up? Says, oi, oi. Let's see. Good to see you streaming, Bran. Okay, what else we got up in the chat? Okay. You can carry your own gun too. Yeah, I mean, hey, to each his own and stuff like that. But yeah, security-wise, I mean, hey, I'm a big proponent of the Second Amendment. So there you go. Anyone dumping Hex for Hex is stressing too much, in my opinion. Yeah, totally. Let's see. This name always gets me effed up, says, so Academaciated says, good to see you streaming, young man. Hey, awesome to see you too. We got Everything is Energy. I like that name. I would concur with that as well. Good to see you back. Hex Luther, hey, what's up, bro? Says, hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Kind of reminds me of Carlos Mato. Nothing to do with BitConnect, but just a hey, hey, hey. Anyways. See Hex, my pulse. Good evening, Hexico. Booked Hex Cruise today. Woohoo. Can't wait to meet everyone. I'm scared too. Funkmaster Hex. What's weird about StreamYard is this person had a comment before saying like not enough likes. And then for whatever reason, it just didn't show up. And I've seen that before with my comments on other people's streams too. Says, look out for the brand man. What's up? Not much, but I like the play on words with Funkmaster Flex. When I smell a fraud looking, I prepare for battle. Let's see. Is this a Game of Thrones reference? I think that was Winterfell, right? I nominate Bran. Connor Morrison says, great stream, bro. Thanks again for hosting the last Washington meetup. Yeah, of course. Once again, it's awesome to see, some of the locals and stuff. And, there's I guess like Twitter Spaces is pretty popular these days, which I've actually never participated in. I probably should. But the cool thing with some of these meetups too is kind of just, exchanging ideas back and forth of, hey, so Tyrannosaurus Hex, he had at our last meetup, he had said like, hey, what are you guys' thoughts on PulseChain versus PLSX, PulseX? And so we're kind of just exchanging some ideas. And so that's also the cool thing too, is, you've got an educated community, and it's kind of like doing a debate, like a battle of ideas. But we're able to kind of, have these conversations and have these, speculations and theories about what we think the price is going to do or what the market participation is going to do. And then it allows us to kind of adjust our own investment thesis for, when it's time to take action. I'm the Hexico gardener. Battling frauds is like pulling the weeds. I love it. Yeah, and hey, I mean, Hexologist, man, he, I've got a folder called Dirt on Hexicans, but Hexologist, man, like the Hexicans don't forget, so yeah, I love how, this community looks out for its own, and if we see a wolf in sheep's clothing and stuff, call a spade or call someone on their BS. I like that because it comes from, it's like the older brother protecting the younger brother. He sees like the bully that's trying to be the guy's friend, and he pulls him into, he just protects him. So I love that we're doing that. Pulser Vader says, hey Brando, I haven't seen you since last time. It's been a minute. It's been a freaking minute. Yeah. It's been over 2 months. We can actually take a look at that right now. So what was the price? Remove from studio. What was the price when I had last streamed? Because it was December 2nd. And let's go over to uniswap.hex.vision and do one of these things. And once again, I'm no chart guy. So let's just get rid of some of this stuff here. And let's get rid of that sucker too. So last time I had streamed, and this is just on the daily. And I tell you what, once again, let's remove the comment just so we can have more visibility. But this is what they call like a V bottom, right? Well, won't let me really, let's just circle it, right there. That's what they call like the V bottom. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, where it's going sideways, does one last dump, one last like capitulation. And then, that's kind of, there's a point where the sellers become exhausted, just like there's a point where the buyers become exhausted, where, bear season's over, people got their shotguns out, bear season's over, the bulls are back in town, and that's what seems to be going on from just, just my opinion there. So once again, it seems that we've done like about 100% gain from just that day, but that wasn't, the most all-time low. If we kind of just take a look, where's December 2nd right there, and just a smidge bit more. I mean, yeah, let's see what it was. I mean, let's see, 1.7, 1.67, I think it was, something like that. I mean, and then we kind of just pull this up a smidge bit more. Like we've done like a 300+% from local bottom, or what could be, the bottom. What could be the bottom of the bear market, and what could be the start of a bull market. And once again, sentiment wise, it just had seemed that, everyone was, let's come back over here. It just seemed that everyone, was cutting each other's throats and going after each other and stuff when the price was going down and kind of towards that capitulation. And you have like the anger phase and in different stages of, psychology of a market cycle. And anyways, now when we come back here, I mean, this is daily, so if we just come back over here from what could be the bottom, I mean, you got like 57 days roughly. Once again, go to other people if you want charts, but just, sentiment wise and just from chart wise, almost 2 months of price going up, and, they're seeming to be, there's a difference. Once again, people were selling their hex at 1.7 cents. And then, when the buyers step in, now it seems that we're kind of, reversing the trend possibly. So that seems pretty cool. And, sentiment wise, I mean, look, I haven't streamed since December 2nd, and this isn't when I normally stream. And I've got, 59, live watchers, live viewers, right? So thank you to everyone spending their time right now that's, tuning in, that might not be commenting, but that's watching. I think that that's really cool. And, once again, that's with 2 other streamers. That's with 8-Bit Hex, who's streaming right now on KSB.TV, or that's their channel, KSB TV, and then Hex Token. And I didn't realize he was streaming until I checked PulseTube, and I was like, damn it, I didn't mean to stream when others were streaming. But we actually had this this not even dilemma. We had this like success, this feature, I should say, a long time ago when Joe Hexotic was streaming back in the day, where he had created a website which was hex.live, I think, hexlive.tv, something like that, where it was the first calendar, and there would be people streaming at the same time. And in my opinion, that's bullish. It's so freaking bullish. Matty Allen has hosted the like the Hex conference online and in person and things like that, and I participated in a couple of them, not the most recent one because I've just had some other stuff going on, but I think streamer wise we have like over like 100 plus streamers, which is just incredible. I mean, like, what other community can say that? And people that are doing it, maybe some with alternate intentions, or trying to sway the following to whatever prerogative they have in the future. But most of our streamers, they want the best for the other people. They're trying to give the alpha and some of the speculation that they find valuable to the viewers for free. So where else do you get that outside of other people's paid groups that aren't even as good of quality? Axis, is Gerardo still alive? I do have his phone number. I should send him a text and see how he's doing. Thank you for that. What else we got? Hex Live. Hey, what's up, bro? He says, get him. Love it. Good to see you, Hex Live. Crypto Cashew, how's it going? Glad you didn't say it reminded you of Fat Albert. That's hilarious. That was a good show, right? Let's see. Okay, cool. Crypto Cashew says, old school brand, what up? How's it going, Crypto Cashew? Good to see you. Okay, we got chit chats back and forth. We got Tony Shido says, I'm watching at work. Missed you, bud. Yeah, I was doing the same thing too when I was working for Mutual Materials. And this was when PulseChain Sacrifice was kind of just coming out, and there was like a 24/7 in the Telegram, like the audio chats. There was like a 24/7 audio chat just going the whole time. And so I would always have one earbud in, just kind of like I do right now. But also getting the work done, and that was really cool that I, at the job that I've, left with good terms and conditions and never burned any bridges, nor will I ever. But it was cool that they were gracious enough to let me listen to the content that I wanted to while performing my job and excelling in it. So that was really cool. Killa CZ 2021. BallietBran, missed you, boy. I missed all of you too. There's a certain sense of this community itself. It's really strong, and yeah, like someone had said about Gerardo, it's cool. Like I've never seen a community where it's like, yeah, you got people that are generally genuinely interested in the well-being of others. And speaking of that, so like I said, I stopped drinking alcohol of May 1st, 2022. And that was thanks to, and I know he's kind of doing his own thing now and, in the Zen train and all that good stuff, or bad stuff, shall I say. But, I have to thank Hexologist too, but I have to thank Jim Rat Crypto and Sam Stolt and Bullish Ox for doing the first crypto fitness challenge, because myself and 2 of my brothers had participated in that. And that was when I quit drinking alcohol. And, since then, my oldest brother has lost shit, dude, he's almost down 200 freaking pounds. He had a lot of weight to lose, and he's been kicking ass. And I said all that to say that PulseChain Siren, she's, picked up the torch has been passed. So, for people that are trying to get back into fitness or, have a community of Hexicans and, people that share like-minded aspects with that, there's a Telegram group for PulseChain Siren that's, once again, hosting that. So that's really cool that she's taking the lead there. What else we got? Can't wait for the next adventure in the Richard Hart universe. Yeah, it's it definitely is an adventure, to say the least. Okay, yeah, let's see if there's any other comments, and then once again we'll get into the rest of it. Hexican and Greenhorn says, "Bran, good to see you, bud." Awesome. Yeah, let me see what else I got in the chat here. It's an hour and 10 minutes, and once again we're gonna finish up the stream not too shortly from now. Want to kind of cover once again the Bitcoin versus Hex question that RH Max had, and then we'll let everyone else get on to other things that they want. Let me just see. So yeah, have you been to a Hexican meetup? If you haven't, you definitely should. Once again, there's most likely Hexicans and Pulsicans in your area. I mentioned the Hex Cruise. I mentioned some of the PulseChain V3 updates. Seems from Richard's tweets and sentiment that it could be close. So once again, prepare as if it could be launched any day, because it really could. And once again, what is your investment thesis? Are you doing nothing? If you're holding, if you're going to be a long-term holder, how long are you holding for? What price point are you choosing to sell at when you do take profit? Because I've heard a lot of people say like, I got my Hex stakes and I'm in Hex and stuff, but I don't even know how to sell if I wanted to. And in my opinion, like, you should know how to sell it, right? You should know to match a .xyz and place a limit order, or you can use Uniswap V3 and place liquidity. You can place kind of like a sell range and things like this. Anyway, so the point is because right now, even with Hex, we're seeing like an uptrend, right? I might have to go lock the door in just a second here. But the point is when Hex does, rally up to 10x, 20x, etc., 100x, right? Not Hex, PulseChain. When PulseChain does its first 100x, are you going to sell your whole bag? Are you going to sell a portion of your bag? Have some of these hypotheticals in your head and on paper, right? Both. For when you're actually going to possibly see that. Because like I said, I'm expecting some of these things to happen, just a matter of time. But like I said, let me just lock this door real quick, because the girlfriend just came in and left it unlocked. So let me lock that real quick so no one barges in. Give me like 2 seconds, okay?
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey.
Okay, cool. Thanks for everyone that was patient with that. Operational security, always got to keep the doors locked. Yeah, let's see what else we had. So once again, plan to plan your thesis of when you want to take profits, and it never has to be a whole portion of it never has to be the whole bag. It might be 5% of the bag, first 10, 20x or whatever. What else do we got? So I've heard Randy Hilarski talk about this too, about some of the ratios and things like this. And I don't know what's going to be worth the trade, but let's just say, when PulseChain comes out, if you could trade one PulseChain for say 20 PulseX, would you make that trade? If so, how much of your bag would you make that trade for? Because both of them have killer fundamentals. And if you're seeing one that's kind of, pumped up more than the other, I've heard Randy Hilarski kind of talk about that. And I completely agree with it. If you see something that's undervalued, and once again, I don't know if this is the exact number, but just a theory, like if you could trade, one PulseChain and get 10 PulseX or whatever that number is, would it be worth it to you? Those are some of the questions that I'd be asking. 1 second here. Let's see what else we got in the chat. We got, hey, Sandy Beach. She says, hey, Brandon, everyone. Great to catch you live. Yeah, thanks for tuning in live. We got 70 people, which is super awesome. And once again, it's been a minute since I've streamed, so I'm grateful to everyone that is tuning in live, that supported me and that subscribes and etc. It's really cool. Funkmaster Hex says, I get 2 to 4 hours of University of YouTube at work every day. They don't know I'm learning. They don't know I'm learning my way out while they pay me. Yeah, that's badass, man. Little golf clap to you, because I don't want to, burst everyone's eardrum by actually clapping. But that happened to me too, man. Like when might have been like 2017 or something like that. Maybe it was before then. But when I was at my job doing the interview, they're like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And, I'd already been in crypto for, I don't know, like 9 months, something like that. And, comprehension wise, my mind had already understood that, like, okay, I already knew fiat was effed up. I've already seen, what fiat's done in the past, right? It always gets printed into oblivion. Just look at Venezuela, right? My girlfriend can attest to that, the hyperinflation that Venezuela has seen. But the point is I told him, like, well, I don't expect to be working here, and I'd mentioned cryptocurrency and stuff. And at the time, this was before Hex came out. This is when I was in Litecoin. And I'm so glad I saw the future of that, because that had no innovation. And Charlie Lee is a coward, as far as a founder compared to Richard. I love what Richard's done. And anyway, so the point is so there was 3 people. There was my manager, there was his boss, and then there was like the second manager, and they all kind of, laughed and looked at each other and stuff, and kind of, done one of these little eye roll things while I had said that, that I was in crypto, that I was super passionate about it, that, within 5 years time, I might not have been working with them still. And that's what ended up happening, but anyways, to Funkmaster Hex's point, I don't see anything wrong in, doing what you got to do, right? You're already driving, you're already working from home, whatever you're doing, getting the work done, make sure that gets done. So no red flags, or, so you're not being micromanaged, but yeah, instead of having news or music or any, BS like that in the background, being able to learn your way out of it, like you said, I think is super cool. And I think people are starting to realize that too, that like, okay, Bitcoin's 14 years old. Okay, maybe there's something to this cryptocurrency thing. Maybe it's not Bitcoin, but maybe it's Hex, or maybe there's other things where you can earn passive income. So people are starting to do the learning process. Renchi T, good to see you. Donald Brandt, haven't seen you in forever, man. I know you and I streamed a long time ago on your channel, and I think that stream might still be on my channel. Jerry says GRC is doing better. The daily streaming was wearing on him. Yeah, I unfollowed him and stopped, being subscribed to him a long time ago. So I'm glad that he's doing better, and man, just like shout out to Hexologist that streamed for, goddamn, now I'm missing the number. I think it was a lot. 572. That's what it was. 572 days in a row. And then before he got the subpoena letter, he had streamed for, I don't even know, 30 something days or X amount of days in a row. And yeah, when with the streaming and stuff like that, it can be very mentally draining. So when he says that the streaming was wearing on him, I totally know how that goes, especially if you've got a relationship, other stuff like that, you need to keep everything in balance. So I'm glad that they're doing well. And like I said, I'm forever grateful that they had done the, the first fitness challenge, and that had some prizes and stuff. And like I mentioned, with what PulseChain Siren's doing, there are no prizes, but I mean, hey, if you can have like a Telegram group of dedicated people that are doing something daily, that are sharing, health is their passion, and you could join for free, there doesn't have to be a prize or anything like that. I think that's pretty cool for those that, need a sense of belonging and that want a sense of community. Because I used to think that I could, get by just myself and, having the older brothers as best friends and stuff, and some of their friends and stuff too. And then you realize, like, okay, you can't get to where you want to go solo. You need other people. So that's what this community has been for me. And they've also helped me level up too. So you never know what kind of, friends you're going to make. I mean, shout out to Motley, who is it? Motley, Vince, Josh Deep, and Tendies, whoever, there might be a couple others, but, shout out to them for, Hex merch. I mean, in the beginning of Hex, you know, with how specific Richard's language was, he was saying like, you know, I can't legally tell you that you can print this shirt, you know. And then you had people that kind of caught on to it that were like, okay, he's not gonna litigate us, or he's not gonna sue us for copyright if we sell his shirts, you know. That kind of brought to life the merch and stuff. And so we didn't have that in the beginning, but we do now. And now it's become, you know, once again, it's become popularized, and it's become, you know, the notary has become so popular where people are seeing it in public and they're like, oh, I recognize that logo, before PulseChain's even launched. Ewok says, Bran, are you going to the cruise? No, I'm not. Not that I don't want to and stuff, but just I have other travel plans this year, and that's not in the cards for me. But hey, I mean, everyone that is going, it's my understanding that Kaylin, you know, KSB.TV, that they're doing like an awards ceremony, things like that. And she had said for, you know, the people that can't make it but that are nominated, you know, if they're not on the actual cruise itself to receive the award, you know, they're going to have like a live stream where they can, you know, join the attendance online. So I think that that's really cool too. But yeah, I'm just not going to be going to that one, you know. And that's the other thing you have to ask yourself too, is like, so PulseCon was kind of, you know, what had you know, gave me this impression. But you know, you have to ask yourself when doing some of these meetups, and hey, a lot of them are great opportunities and stuff, but there's a certain point where it's like, okay, am I doing this for the meetup, or am I doing this to kind of, you know, go hang out in Vegas and gamble and, you know, be a degen? Because for me, it's to meet people, and it's not to be spending a shit ton of money, you know. So yeah, it's cool what they're doing with the cruise, because you know, Kaylin, KSB TV, those guys have been honorable since the very beginning, and they've shown that through consistency. So I like what they're doing with their meetups. MC Coiner, it's great to see you again, Bran. A lot of Hexicans are dormant right now, sort of hibernating through crypto winter, but ready to wake up to battle when called upon. Yeah, you know, and I share similar sentiment with what, you know, Motley's mentioned, and some of these other people have mentioned, that, you know, just like you have with, I mean, Richard's kind of like the exception to the rule, you know, and actually not even really, because he didn't even start streaming until I think it was really early 2017, when he felt that his Bitcoin bags that he had big bags of, when he felt that those were threatened by the Ethereans, and he was on the Bitcoin Reddit, and he was wondering, he's like, you know, he didn't really, from what I've heard him say, he didn't really you know that there was this huge competition from Ethereum, because the Bitcoin Reddit did such a good job of catering and of censoring anything that wasn't Bitcoin. And I only say that to say that in the future, you know, when we start talking about multiple dollars and stuff like this, or $12 hacks, or et cetera, things like this, that in my opinion are inevitable. It's just a matter of time. When you just look at what the price has done, and some of the mechanics regarding what can pump the price, you know, you're going to have people that used to stream and things like that do end up passing the torch. And, you know, you also kind of have to realize that too. So it's been cool to see like a second and third wave of streamers. Like I said, someone like Randy Hilarski, I've got tremendous respect for, not only from his experience and just being able to learn a lot from him, from being in other cryptocurrencies, from working with other cryptocurrencies, but also he stepped it up. And, you know, when others kind of like myself just stopped streaming, and I really respect that. So shout out to Randy. Give us some strategies. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, you know, we'll kind of get into that a little bit later, because that's that could be, you know, spent 20 minutes on alone. Joe O'Brien, nice to see you back, Bran. Turtles Only says hit the like. What else we got? I'm not going to swap. Let me get some water here. I'm not going to swap PulseChain for PulseX, or vice versa. If I see one of them drop to a bargain, I'll just buy with new powder. I'm not a trader. Yeah, I understand. Hexander, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, he's a person that I had met when you know, Big Kurkowski was throwing the first pitch in Chicago. So that was really cool to meet him. Hexican Greenhorn, Crypto cashew. No, I didn't, yeah, no, I didn't. Luckily I didn't. Goddamn. I guess I just got luck on my side, but, did you get a letter, Bran? She's referring to the subpoena, that, Hexologist and others got. No, I didn't. Thankfully I didn't. Let's see. Tony Shido says, speaking of merch, I bought a Hex Pulse shirt. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can go to, I've got some links in the description that are just like affiliate links from Amazon, but I personally purchased my shirts from Amazon. They're a little bit cheaper than other websites that I've seen. And I mean, the quality for me, I don't put these in the dryer, because if you do put them in the dryer, whatever material this is used, this printed material, it'll, wear away and kind of peel off a lot more quickly than if you just hang dry them. So that's cool that you got some of the merch, because, once again, I love the colors. It's super colorful. And I also like that it's, back in the days to wear like Nikes and Jordans and stuff like that, but I could give a crap about those brands, like I don't really like promoting that stuff anymore. I just did it because that's what, the cool kids at the time were doing, had Jordan shoes and had Nike stuff. But now I can actually wear a sigil and a symbol that, that I believe in, that, that I'm firmly passionate about, and that I can also educate others about, Tony Bonboni says, hey, yeah, Bran, I'm still here, still waiting for V3. Wake me up when PulseChain comes. Exactly. Let's see what else we got here. Once again, we're not going to get to every single comment. We're already an hour and 26 minutes into it, and we still have 73, live viewers. That's awesome. That's really freaking cool. Shout out to all those in the chat. Y'all make this what it is, One Hexy Mofo. Hey, how's it going? Caught you live, Brandhammer. Good to see you out. Hell yeah. Pulse feels close. It does feel close. It totally does. Who Dat says, good to see you, brother. Lots of love. Hey, lots of love to you too. And just the whole community, man. Good tip about the lettering on the shirts, Brandon. I never thought about that. Yeah. So let me get back into any of the list of things that I have here before we finish off. Once again, I am going to finish this before Maddie streams, which is at 5:30 my time. So it's in 33 minutes. And I will, send people his way. Because once again, I really like what, once again, there's so many more people that put in tremendous amounts of effort and work and time into this and streaming, educating others for free, and they're not asking for anything in return. So, I appreciate people like Maddie and Wales Only and Axis and, all the people that are streaming. Because once again, takes time, takes effort, time that you could be spending with your family or your girlfriend or doing other stuff. And instead they're choosing to, have a StreamYard account and pay for the service, right? To educate you. And it's cool that you, the viewer, is tuning into that. So yeah, I showed the crystal. That was super cool of Tyrannosaurus Hex. That was super, super cool. Yeah. So I guess we can get into the argument that RH Max had wanted me to cover, my opinion of the Hex versus Bitcoin, which one's better. And I'll just start off by saying Hex. How old is Bitcoin? Well, it's 14 years old. How much price appreciation has Bitcoin done? It's done 6.9, plus million X from sub penny to $69,000. How much price action has Hex done? Well, it's done 10,000X. When you're investing into something, if you're investing in stocks or you're investing in, say you're investing in Bitcoin, if all of the gains were already had, then whatever nominal amount that you're putting into it, might go up, I don't know. If you did Bitcoin, hey, you might get, a 1x, right? It might go up another 100% or whatever number, right? But in my opinion, like if you just see even what Hex has done recently compared to Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin kind of bottomed around like 15, 16K, something like that. I know Richard's talked about 11K in Prey, but he also did have the contingency of, some of the other markets with the Fed and the printing and, the number might not go as low as he was thinking of the traditional 85% drop with some other circumstances. So the point that I wanted to say there is also, as far as Bitcoin goes, the code that makes Bitcoin what it is, people call it spaghetti code, where it's had 2 critical vulnerabilities. And what's a critical vulnerability? Well, it's had, 2 possible inflation bugs. One that got realized and they had to roll the chain back, or it was fork it from a new block that, rendered those person's coins useless. And then the second one, I think it was in 2017 roughly, was from a Bitcoin Cash developer, where once again, an inflation bug is literally, it's like being like the Federal Reserve. It's like saying, hey, you can print as much Bitcoin as you want. How many do you want? And that person chose not to take advantage of the bug. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share the screen on a link that I had as well. And let's see, when was this? This was from September 22nd, 2021. This was from a couple years ago. But let's just paste this into the share screen, and hopefully y'all can see what has happened, right? As far as the case of Hex versus Bitcoin, it's not, sure, I've got a bias, but I can also, present some of the other arguments as well. So, Bitcoin's consensus is proof of work, and, their argument, when you say that, hey, proof of work is wasteful, on the environment, electricity, it's wasteful on that, they say, well, okay, 25% of it is, what is it, like renewable energy, or it's energy efficient, et cetera. And it's like, okay, well, that's just 25%. What about the other 3/4, the other 75%, that's still doing damage? As far as Ethereum goes, even if you're comparing those two, Ethereum used to be proof of work, and they had worked diligently on a consensus change, for proof of stake. Does Bitcoin have a consensus change for a proof of stake? Not to my knowledge. When you're comparing things like Hex versus Bitcoin, Hex has 3 audits, and the actual code itself that makes Hex what it is not only modular and linear. Like when you actually look at the code, it's like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. It's got a lot of logic in it, but the code is locked, right? And it's locked with the keys thrown away. So the code is what it is, and it can't ever be changed. And once again, when I mention audits, Hex has 3 audits, 2 security audits and 1 financial audit. We're going to take a look at the screen that I have here, and then we'll finish up the stream shortly, because it's crazy how quick the time flies when you haven't streamed in forever. And, once again, we're just not going to cover everything that I wanted to, but we'll definitely do another stream hopefully soon. Yeah. Like with someone like Axis, or I love those collaboration streams, because I really like doing these solo streams and, informing the audience on my opinions, but it's also fun to collab as well. So, but this is my Instagram. Y'all can follow me. Just, I'm pretty much BallietBran everywhere. Okay. I actually also started streaming on a new platform called, I think it's kick.com, something like that. Yeah. kick.com. Through the StreamYard payment platform that I have, I'm paying for, I think, like up to 8 different broadcast destinations. And so I've got YouTube, Twitch, Periscope and stuff, but Kick is another one. So, just pushing out this stream to other platforms that hopefully can get the word out there. But let's go back to the share screen that I had, the point that I wanted to make. So once again, this is September 22nd, 2021. Bitcoin.org was hacked. The website has the hex.com website. Has the hex.com website ever been hacked? No, it has not. You have the bitcoin.org website that has, though. So let's zoom this in right quick. Let's make sure the girlfriend locks the door. Always got to make sure the security is on point. Anyway, so this is a screenshot, and one second here. Let's just zoom in so you can kind of see right here where I'm like, circling the cursor. That was bitcoin.org. And here's what this says. Now, just like survival of the fittest, for people that actually believe this BS, that you can give them, 1 Hex or 1 Ethereum or 1 Bitcoin and get 2 back, is a next, it's another definition of stupidity. But the point is this. So the bitcoin.org website says, at the time, says the Bitcoin Foundation is giving back to the community. We want to support our users who have helped us along the years. Send Bitcoin to this address and we will double the amount in return. once again, this is kind of like a Darwin Award for stupidity. But the point is the hex.com website has never ever had that kind of vulnerability, and Richard actually went live. Did Satoshi go live? When you're comparing Hex versus Bitcoin, I know some people are like, oh, okay, what's this origin address? Is the origin address gonna, is it gonna freaking blow up its own project? Doubtful. But who is Satoshi? No one knows who Satoshi is. But we do know that Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin, that they had mined. That's like 5% of the supply, so we really don't know as far as, some of these factors. You have Richard Hart, founder of Hex, has, freaking an enormous amount of success in his past and in his history, and, different calls and stuff. So you have one person that's public, and then you have someone that could be dead, whoever Satoshi is or was, or, whatever group or entity it is, clearly they're not public. And so it was really cool to see Richard, once again, this was like a late night stream, because I'm on the West Coast and in the Seattle area. And it was like, from what I recall, this, once again, it's like a year and a half ago, but I think it was like 11:30 my time at night that Richard had done this emergency live stream. And so did you have other Bitcoiners streaming about the bitcoin.org website being hacked and having a literal scam on it? Not that I saw. I didn't see that from Tone Bays. I didn't see that from some of these other people. And then also, once again, like I mentioned, whether it's stocks or whether it's Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's been around for 14 years and it's done 6.9 million X on return, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, how much more life is in it? How much more returns are in it? Because regardless of what people say, we're in this for the freaking gains, And I love that, that Richard's always mentioned, hey, no BS. Like, we're in this for price appreciation. We're also in this for, cypherpunk and change the world and etc. But you need gains to be able to do such things, So that's kind of some of my case for it. Let me see, because I think I did have more as far as the actual argument of Hex versus Bitcoin. But, also, like I mentioned as well, so you have proof of stake versus proof of work. So Hex is on Ethereum, and even when Hex is on PulseChain, it's efficient, right? So it's not, destructive or damaging to the environment like Bitcoin is, so that's a win within itself for Hexicans. And then also, as far as yield goes, if you want to earn Bitcoin, what do you have to do? You have to become a miner. Okay. But if you want to earn more Hex, you can just take the Hex that you have and go to go.hex.com, or you can do app.icosa.pro. You can do a wrapped stake, or you can do traditional Hex stake. But you can earn passive income today by, taking your Hex and staking it. And so I really love that, there's not a huge barrier to entry. One thing that you would have to consider, though, is if you're going to, this is something that's kind of changed from the beginning. At the beginning of Hex, the fees, like, I remember I've got transactions on my main addresses that prove it. Like, some of those sends and some of those stakes were like a penny, under a penny, 2 pennies, and now we've got, I don't know, like, I think the most recent stake that I ended was maybe $50, $60, something like that. So when you are staking Hex, this is one thing I will say, is with Ethereum, when you're doing a stake, the Ethereum network pretty much has to prove that, you were staked for all of those days. And so the longer that you're staked for, if you just stake for 1 day, the actual, fee in Ethereum that you pay to end that isn't going to be as high as maybe, if you stake for Cuatro Cinco, because once again, it's just the amount of computation on the Ethereum network that's required, to end that stake. So that's why we got PulseChain coming out. But I said that to say that, when you're a Hex staker, it's pretty much equivalent to being a Bitcoin miner, minus not doing any damage on the environment. Let's see what we got. Cape Feger says, and guys and gals, we are kind of wrapping up right now. So, if you got any last minute questions or things like that in the chat that you want me to address, please put in, whatever last comments now, and we'll kind of wrap up the stream. and and make sure that I link to Maddie's stream that's upcoming as well. And I do have to say thank you again to everyone that's that supported me in the past, that's watching right now. Once again, this community is unlike anything else. And it feels like I shouldn't say like fate or anything, but when I see the founder of Richard and I just look at some of these other companies, like you look at, Gates with Microsoft, or you look at, some of these other big freaking companies that are, dominant. Richard has what it takes as a founder and as a product, as someone that's made products. This does have the possibility of becoming worldwide. And heck, man, we got Hexicans in freaking Africa. How cool is that? So we're taking over the world one Hexican at a time, but it's cool to see the leader, who is Richard, sticking by our sides and, continuing to, speak truth to power. I really love that. Oh yeah. So Cape says, I think Bitcoin is aging like a dinosaur and has 7 years left at best until it becomes crypto obsolete. Yeah. Well, there's just so many factors with that. LB19 says Richard Hart crypto mindset is second to none. Yeah. For those that, that are nerds and geeks and stuff. And I say that in a positive way, because I'm one too, not to the extent as some other people. But if you're a programmer and stuff, if you look at Richard's, he's got a video called "So You Want to Be a Software Developer." And even if you have nothing, like no software knowledge like I do, I behoove you to check out that stream, because you really understand, the level of intricacy of how much Richard understands. And, when Dev Kyle, when he got onboarded into Hex and was helping out with the share rate and stuff, he had kind of noticed some flaws. He had said, Richard was, sending Excel files back and forth. And even someone like him, who's a damn good software developer, was saying that Richard's like an Excel wizard, And so it's just really cool to have someone that's, been successful in previous businesses, but also understands, it's as RG3 said, you've got the street smarts and the book smarts. And, people like Vitalik, they might have an IQ of XYZ, more than, mental level IQ, but then they might be socially, autistic, I guess, but then you have someone like Richard, who is on that same boat of Vitalik and some of these other people, Mensa level, he's in Mensa, but also has the social engagement, also knows what it takes to be a good leader, community, founder, and knows how to start a movement. And that's really what this is. So yeah, LB19, couldn't agree more. First you get the hex, then you get the power, then you get the women. Yeah. What do they call it? Life-changing money. Life-changing money for those that aren't in happy relationships. Vintage staker class. We got one Heximofo says, I think one of my first 15-year stakes was just sending out some dust from my wallet back when gas fees were like 10 cents. We got DB Cooper says, Hex is the GOAT. Law of diminishing returns. Thank you. I love me some laws, right? Some of those kinds of laws. Yeah, law of diminishing returns, totally. And that's also part of it too, as we're kind of wrapping up, is, you got some that are like, okay, 10,000x in Hex, good for you guys. What if that never happens again? And that's a good question to ask. And, for the people that, want to see the gains and they like what Richard's doing, I mean, Pulse and PulseX aren't out yet, so when you mention diminishing returns, thank you for that. It's like those, PulseX haven't launched. So as far as the opportunity there, like the opportunity is just tremendous. And it doesn't mean that there still is an opportunity in Hex, because there is. There's freaking, great opportunity there. But it's just awesome that whatever kind of perspective you have and whatever outlook that you're doing, we got what you need. Mike Roth says Bitcoin started as one of the only cryptocurrencies, very diluted now. Yeah, exactly. And we have to, thank Bitcoin and other, when it comes to movements or, different things in history and cryptography, it's like, yeah, without Bitcoin, we wouldn't have what we have today, so you have to attribute that credit, give the credit where it's due. So thanks for Bitcoin for doing that. And, it just turns out that they stopped really innovating and stopped really developing. And so, you know, Richard talks about like anonymity with Bitcoin. You know, can you get anonymity with Bitcoin? You know, most of the people that have been, you know, found out and caught. Can you get anonymity with Ethereum? You're damn right you can, you know? And so that alone is a huge selling point. Because once again, you need to be, you know, you don't want to be doing one transaction and then all of a sudden everyone can see, you know, all of your, you know, prior spending and prior transactions. You know, that's just something that we all have the right to, right? When you're spending, say you're getting a pastry at the local, you know, French bakery, when you swipe your, you know, debit or credit card, it's not like they can see how much money you have in your bank or all the other previous transactions go. So privacy definitely is a human right, and it's awesome that PulseChain is going to have it, and you know, Ethereum currently has it. Then Lambo, yeah. Completion Fail says, "What's up, family? Hope all is well, BallietBran." Yeah, all is great, man. All is super great, and I'm grateful for the streamers that, you know, were you know, in the lead, and like someone like Randy that's just taken the helm and been stepping up, you know, when others like myself just haven't been streaming. We can thank Bitcoin, but we can also wave it bye-bye. No loyalty and financial well-being. Yeah. You know, and just like someone was saying, like, brand hammer's back, bear market's over. Like when someone like, you know, in what is his name? Trace Mayer, right? I used to really love what he was saying. And then even him, you know, you had some of these people that were, you know, devout Bitcoin maximalists. And then all of a sudden, you know, you had Richard first, and then Trace. Now, you know, he's like nowhere to be found. But the point is you're right. You know, you have to, this is all technology at the end of the day. And not that I would know, but Bitcoin seems like it's like DSL, you know, and Hex is freaking, you know, fiber optic, you know, 10,000 megabits up and down. It's just a different evolution in technology. So yeah, that's about it. Oh, I did want to say, because it's been a minute and there's going to be people on the replay, and there's already been a lot of people, more than I expected here. I do have to say thank you to RG3, because like I said, he had streamed with Dollar Cost Crypto, Miguel, the other day. And, you know, those two started Discourse Syndicate. And so, you know, part of this stream is like a call to action, right? Just because my life's been changed because of it, not only because of Richard and Hex and gains and stuff, but meeting freaking cool people and developing, you know, relationships with people that I can call my friends genuinely, you know, not just superficially. But the point is RG3 got me into streaming because him and Hexologist, him and Hexologist are the ones that created it. But I know Miguel was a huge part of that as well. But they have every Friday night, I think it's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They have like the effing hangout where, you know, they have the StreamYard link, and, you know, they put it in the chat and anyone can join. And so if you're, you know, eager to meet people, whether maybe you don't want to do it in person, but you want to, you know, do it online, then I would recommend joining their stream. And I do have to credit and thank you, RG3, for doing that, because I had, you know, followed Richard, things like that, but I never really wanted to stream about crypto for OPSEC reasons. And then when I saw RG3 and Hexo doing it, I said, man, I don't know what this StreamYard thing is, but it's so damn easy. Like, if these guys can do it and it's just a couple buttons, I can sure as hell do it too. And so I thought that was really cool that they, you know, they're the ones that introduced me to StreamYard. So yeah, definitely shout out to RG3 for Discourse Syndicate. We got Marcavelli, win PulseChain, sir. I'm, you know, I'd bet decent money, 10K, something like that we'll see it this year. Sometime this year, right? This is the better stream indeed. Love them both, though. Oh, yeah. All right, guys and gals. Well, hey, I think that's about it. Yeah, let me actually see one last thing. So we're just going to link everyone to Maddie's stream, because, one second here, because he's streaming in like 11 minutes and 8 seconds. So let me just type in Maddie, all in or Alan. We got HexDeck16 says, meeting cool people like you. Hell yeah, you too, man. And yeah, his little thing here, Prosperity Project, that was like loose change, right? I think it used to be called loose change, something like that. anyways, that was change that, so many people make excuses, right? Like, oh, I don't really have the money to do a dollar cost average and stuff when, maybe they have $20 a week that they could, dollar cost average in. So I really like what Hextech 16 has done with, with the Prosperity Project, and he's showing others that, hey, it can be done, so that's really cool too. And shout out to him. Yeah. Him and I went to Oregon one time and met up with Hex Jimbo is his name, who has he had a food truck. And so that was really cool too. Once again, meeting people. Okay. Maddie says flight got delayed, so this stream will be later than usual, but yeah, never mind. So it's 9:55 my time. So that's what, 4 hours and 35 minutes. So yeah, 4 hours and 35 minutes roughly, but let me put that link right in here. Oh, hey, cool. Marcavelli, thank you. He says Johnny Chaos is streaming with Furu Finance. Let me just try and find that right quick. Furu Finance. Yeah, those are two guys that I really like too. So yeah, let me just put that in the stream here. And once again, we have 67 watching live right now, and he has, what does he have? He has 60 something. He has 80 people watching over there too. So let me direct all of y'all over to their stream, and feel free to let them know Brandhammer, Brandimal, I sent you. Otherwise, just go tune in if you want some other information to tune into. So once again, everyone, it's been a pleasure as always. I'm hydrate and go get a workout for now. But have a good evening, day, or afternoon, everyone. Once again, let me just make sure that link did get. Yep, the link is there. So go say what's up to Ben Dubard, it looks like. I have it on 144p, so I can't really see. Ben, Furu Finance, and Johnny Chaos. I've always liked Johnny Chaos. He has a diamond analogy, like a marble to diamond analogy. So anyways, we'll end it right here. Thank you, everyone, so much for your time and support. Love all of you.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey, 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 say hey, move. Say hey, say hey, Stake that hick, 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 stake that hick. Every time I look up, price went up. I go to the store, come back, price went up. Every time I look up, price went up. No matter what I do, price still going up. Hell yeah. Ching, ching, motherfucker. Ching, ching. I am the book. Ching, ching, motherfucker. I just keep hitting jackpot after motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran. It's fabulous.